I don't know. I don't know shit about football. Like I just date football players. I'm like, okay.
Hello and welcome. My name is Jay, and with me today is my good old friend, Alexander Gonzalez.
Hello, hello.
And please remember that we are not game devs. How are you doing today, Alex?
Good. I didn't want to do that accent. I honestly hate that when I listen to an accent for too long, it just comes about.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that the characters in Ted Lasso have the British, very Cockney, I can't even think of how Jamie Tart talks, but the way that Jamie Tart talks, you know what I mean? Like it's very like hello,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Fucking.
Oh yeah, folk.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's a
Fucking mind
very
games.
very specific British accent, not
And I
like
guess you
your
could say
normal.
thick.
Yeah, it's not like your normal airy like.
Not the way the owner talks.
Exactly. But those are not the British accents we are talking about today. Today we are creating something new. Every week we are not game devs. We'll create a new, exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but not have any knowledge or know-how to create the wonderful experience that are video games. Today is my turn to present We Are Not Game Devs 171st IP.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mentioned earlier we are playing, not we, but I am playing GTA 5 online. GTA Online. I put the 5 in there. I know it's just GTA Online. And it's great. It's everything that back when I played, so I don't have a deep history with GTA. I played GTA 3 and then I played GTA 5. That's my history. I actually went the other way. I played GTA 5, then I played GTA 3. I think is the order that went. Wait, is GTA 3 the one with Nico?
No, GTA 3 is the one with Nico Bellic is GTA 4.
Then I played GTA 4. I played 5, then 4 is how it went. And
Wow, I don't think 4 is as good as 5 at all.
So the reason why I played 4 is because I was back home for like a summer, I think, like 2 months. And I just wanted a new game to play. And my sister owned GTA 4 on PS3. And she's like, you want to play this? I'm like, yeah, GTA 5 was fun. And I just played that for the whole summer. And I got pretty far, actually. Like, it was actually a lot of fun playing that for a whole summer. But what I loved about GTA 4 is I think the simness of GTA 4 was a lot more intense than 5 was, where 5 was you were playing these 3 dudes' lives, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then what online did was bring a little bit of that 4 simminess to the GTA 5 world, where you could buy your own house, you could have your own cars and customize your own cars and all that stuff. But the problem I have with both of these games is it never got personal enough for me, especially in GTA Online, where
What about the Michael's kids and his wife?
well, that's not exactly what I mean. What I mean is like in GTA Online, you could customize how you look, the tattoos you have, the clothes you wear, the car you drive, where in the Los Santos you own your home, and generally how you present yourself. The problem I have with it is when you buy that casino penthouse home that I own on top of Diamond Resort, it just comes. You could change the color scheme and the wallpapers and stuff, but it just comes as is. And everyone who buys a penthouse, it looks just the same with different color schemes and the wallpapers. Like you can't make your place your place. It's just a thing you bought and that's where you spawn now. You know what I mean? You buy your motorcycle club and yeah, you could change the mural on the wall, and depending on the location that you buy, it's different interior and design. But everyone who buys that specific motorcycle cafe, it's always going to look like that for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yes. Now I do. Now I totally understand what you're saying, where it's kind of like everyone has the same thing. You can maybe color swap some items, so to say, but you're not ever going to feel like this is yours. Like The way, I guess, if I were to say Sims does it,
Exactly. Or even like, let's say World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy. When you buy your home, you decorate your home. You know what I mean? It doesn't come pre-decorated and you can't move anything. It's just stuck there and it's just a texture. You know what I mean? You put stuff in it, So that's essentially what I want. I want a GTA like with the online feature. Maybe we could even make this like a GTA online competitor where it's literally an urban city that you could do jobs and go hang out and do car meets and all that stuff. But you could personalize the shit out of it. You could personalize your cars. You could personalize your apartment. You could you could go to the furniture store, literally go in, pick out the couch you want, and then put it into your apartment. And there's like a whole moving process and all that stuff.
So hear me out.
Okay.
I want this game to go in a radical direction.
Okay.
I want this game to be one of the most sold out games ever, but for a reason. We've seen games already that have tons of branding, where they have real life billboards. I want there to be games. I want it to have actual real life items. So I want you to be able to go into an IKEA, buy real IKEA items, and take it to your home and have it branded that way. Go into an Ashley's Furniture, get these furniture items, take it. To have the licenses for the game, and then have licenses for cars, and then have real world cars in there. So that way, all of a sudden, you have RGB things, you can have Philips Hue, you can have IKEA furniture.
Now, what's stopping us?
There's like Urban Outfitters, huh?
What's stopping us just from doing exactly what GTA does and do that, but not have the actual brands, just parodies of real brands? You know what I mean? Like, we'll have
nothing at all.
Like
I think that's what we need to do and expand it. I think this needs to be a game where it sounds like to me where GTA meets Sims, right? And then what I want to do on top of that is you have to make it where this has to be a mod positive community where users are now adding a bunch of stuff in to the point where, let's say enough happens, we'll have admins in the game that say, hey, you're producing a lot on your shop. This is getting, maybe after a certain amount of downloads, you're rewarded your own store in the game.
Like your own brand.
So then microtransactions are mapped through your store and then you get a share of the profits, or maybe you get a lot of the profits. What do you think about that?
I do like that. Of course, there has to be a sense of laws that you like. This modder isn't literally making a branded thing. Like, these are like unique things this modder makes himself. And I'm fine with like, I'm fine with having an IKEA and having like that type of stuff, but I don't want it to be IKEA and Ashley's and freaking the dude that with that small guy, the CG character guy that's bald and has the beard. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
The guy, are you talking about like Bob's Furniture?
Yeah, Bob's Furniture.
That guy who's bald and has a fucking beard.
Right. And I'm fine with having like real life stuff, but maybe just one per thing. Like, we'll have an In-N-Out in there. We'll have the IKEA. We'll have like Nike or something. But I don't want like competing brands in the same game together. You know what I mean? Just because that would.
What do you mean? So we're gonna be a Nike sponsored game and fuck Adidas?
Exactly. Yeah, and then we'll have.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd actually go say like, yeah, no, that's what.
Just because logically, I don't think Adidas and Nike will both be cool with them both being in the game legally. You know what I mean? And they're gonna be like, which one of us has more profits in the game or whatever? Who gave you, like, which one of them is giving more money?
Do you think these sales meetings would get out of control where it's like, okay, now we got to talk about the content team, and now we got to go and talk with Adidas because they're getting pissed off. It looks like their in-store location is a little worse than Nike's, and I think we got to bring it up. Exactly. We got to make sure that players are more central. I see what you mean. Like, it would get a little bit more complicated.
And I think we'll slowly introduce sponsorships into the game, kind of like how in certain games, like, let's say this didn't happen, but in Final Fantasy 14, there's a Louis Vuitton event, and you could get Louis Vuitton stuff, but only for a limited time window. You know what I mean? And I only say that because Lightning was a Louis Vuitton model, and so it just came to my head. I don't think there's any Louis Vuitton merch inside Final Fantasy 14, but stuff like that. Like maybe there's a pop-up hundreds events happening right now.
Super easy. Another branding, Hello Kitty, always will be hot.
Yeah. And so I'm cool with having branding in it. It's just I don't think it's gonna be the main focus of the game. It's a game where there's brands everywhere. It's just real life with real brands I want it to be like
I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah. More like limited stuff. Also, I like the idea of the modding thing where, eventually if someone does do a lot, we'll create their own brand and maybe work with them to like create an actual brand of like things that match. Because like maybe he was making mods for like t-shirts and then shoes and then maybe mods like put in his favorite burger in the game, right? But then we're like, hey,
you keep going back to food. I've noticed. I don't know if you're hungry or you think that food's gonna play this. Because I'm like, what is there going to be, like a fruit basket? Because I was only thinking like fruit baskets in the game. Are you talking about like opening up a fridge and seeing food that you're actually going to have to feed your character? Like, let's get into that a little bit.
I think it's going to be like more like how Yakuza treats it and how GTA story mode treats it, where because you can't do this online, but in the story mode, you could go into a restaurant and order food and it doesn't do anything. It's for the simminess of playing GTA 5 story. In Yakuza, what you could do is go into a store, eat some food, and it will give you a boost in something like an XP boost or a health boost or attack boost. It helps you out. And there's always a cutscene. Sometimes you have a conversation with the owner and build a social link with the owner. And so you start getting discounts at that particular restaurant and stuff like that. And I think we could have a similar thing to Yakuza where you go into these restaurants, you eat, there's a short cutscene. You get present like if we have In-N-Out, it shows you the In-N-Out meal. It's right there, all in fully rendered CGI or whatever. And then like you just eat the burger, and then afterwards you have 15% increase in your health.
So I see what you're talking about, and that's cool. We'll have restaurants in different districts like that, just so it feels alive. I think is what you're doing and making it realistic. So let's talk about the nature of real estate here. You previously talked about games such as Final Fantasy 14 that make it that you only have so much real estate. Otherwise, it's going to be a land of houses, but everyone's going to want their own house. So are we going to do blocks? Are we going to make it where maybe multiple people can inhabit the same plot of land, but you don't see them? Or servers? What are we going to do here?
That's a great point. So apartments, easy. Just infinite apartments in one building.
You enter the building and then it teleports and loads whatever apartment you want to go into.
Yeah, like it looks like it has 50 rooms in this apartment, but really we'll have like 500. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then different servers. Yeah, maybe we'll need different servers just because it will fill up, even if it was 500 apartment spaces. We could limit it to like one home per person, and so you can't have an apartment and a house. Like once you have a house, that's your house. And so there'll always be like those whales that put real money into the game. They have the mansions on top of the hill, you know what I mean? And when you have those, you have them type of thing.
But when you're talking about whales, I'm going to stop you right there. Are you saying that these get like this? So this is going to be a microtransaction game where you're going to play for, it's a dirty word, but it is what it is. Like, are you going to be paying for that?
I think you could buy currency,
or is it in-game currency?
Shark cards. It's in-game currency. Like you could buy shark cards for in-game GTA bucks. You know what I mean? It's going to be the same deal where you could earn it in-game by doing jobs and side quests and like maybe like. I think the gameplay, so we haven't actually talked about the gameplay. I think what you're doing is essentially what you're doing in GTA Online, where you own businesses and you do jobs for your business and that accrues you money. And then there's also like side things you could do, like whatever our version of the heist is. Maybe you are a criminal in this game and you decide to do like a big time heist and you go steal from the bank. And that's how you get a lot of money in. But when you're just playing day to day, yeah, maybe it's just you run like the local liquor store, and behind the liquor store you like sell drugs out of the back or something, and then you have to go do runs, you have to go protect your rackets and all that type of stuff, you know what I mean? Like small side quest jobs. And maybe how the game is structured, you could have one home that is your permanent home, and then you could sell it to get to a bigger house, or just keep it and just keep working on
Do
that
you
one
want
home.
it to be necessarily illegal? What if someone collects enough cars and they can build a shop in the game where they sell cars to
Yeah, I think there
other
can be an open
players?
marketplace.
Yeah.
And like I said, or like we mentioned earlier, or actually, you know what? This is how we could go around doing that. Where if we start noticing a lot of players starting to sell stuff like lots of cars, we could build that as a business. You know what I mean? We could
Yeah.
actively start working on like new businesses. Like, oh, people really like selling guns. Maybe we'll just build out that mechanic more, and like we'll actually make like a gunsmith
Mm.
career. People really like selling cars. We'll expand that. We'll make it so you could own a car dealership and you could start doing that type of stuff, you know? And I could see all that working. And in terms of actual gameplay, I don't know. Yeah, just we could even add like how GTA Online does it, just add like random game modes. Like there's like team deathmatch, and there's like free for all, there's racing, there's
We're definitely gonna have
obstacle
racing. And
courses
then
and all that stuff.
I think we should also have contests for best apartment design, best looking cars. I think there should be car shows. I think there should be rewards for like someone with the best shop who brings in the most money.
Yeah, totally. I am totally in agreement there. And I think the way that works is both algorithmic based and also like admin based. Like there's an actual guy who are at these events, and they like rate them and then put it against like the algorithm that does it by maths and like looking at actual data and then computing that into a score, and then like someone who looks at that score and be like, well, he did add this to make it a little bit more unique, so I'm going to bump that score up a little bit or bump it down type of thing.
I like it. I like it. So we're gonna have basically what they're gonna be is these admins are gonna have a little bit more, or maybe we're gonna have an admin that's checking everything out, and then we're gonna have people who are almost like moderators who are going to be in the game judging it and seeing what that is. And then for that, we're going to have the in-game community probably take jobs for that. So maybe we'll have it where you get exclusive items. This is so that like if you're helping us out, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm,
you get like certain apartments and perks. Nothing too crazy, nothing that would affect in-game bonuses or performance, but still something that would make it so that you're incentivized to want to do that.
right. Um, and I think customization is literally the point of this game, where yeah, we'll have a bunch of different outfits, like a bunch of different clothes.
Infinite numbers of clothes. Like it's going to be so much that we're going to have to, it's going to have to be really well organized by
Yeah, I was gonna say
brand,
it's
by tops,
definitely
bottoms.
gonna be better organized than how GTA organizes it, because GTA is just a mess. It's just lists on lists on lists on lists on lists. And I even want there to be like, just like in real life, maybe the way that you buy homes are, there are the pre-made homes, and then there's like a side neighborhood, maybe we'll call it the suburbs, and then it's like a small loading screen, and then you're there, and this is
Mhm.
just where the homes are. And then like you could either buy a pre-made home, or you just buy a plot of land, and we're just going to super sim it, where you could build the walls, you could build underground, you could just build your home. And
And
this will be a multi-week process where you're putting money into building this dream house and keep renovating it, but you'll keep, have lots and lots of money put into this thing,
absolutely. Or you can do the opposite where you can, maybe someone is an architect and there's that open place market where you can have them design your home, or you can have a designed home by them
Yeah.
that you can pay for.
And I even like the idea of maybe we'll have it. Okay, how about this? We'll scrap the idea of the houses being available outside of the suburbs. And instead, what we'll do is if you want your house to be displayed, you could buy, like, as a secondary thing, you could buy a plot in the actual instance of the world. And maybe how it works is, I don't know if this is too much, but when you log in, I have a better idea. And I don't know if this will work out, but what if each of these online lobbies are capped to 72 players?
Okay, 72. That's a specific number.
I just said 72 because I think GTA is 32. And so 72 seems like a big jump, but still small enough that's reasonable for modern consoles and PCs. And maybe in the real world, if you own a home, there are 72 possible plots in the world that could be homes. And if you own a home, your home will be displayed in a certain plot in this world. And maybe how we'll do it is depending on how much money you spent on the home, it'll be on a different scale and it'll just be randomly placed in this world. You know what I mean?
You know what I kind of want to do? So we're making it where you can take up crime, right? And that crime's fun. You can do all that.
Yeah.
Right? Among other stuff, like you can steal cars, you can rob people.
Yeah.
Am I assuming?
Yeah.
What if we make it where on this, there's a day-night cycle, right? And it's probably going to be pretty long. What if every day for about 2 hours in real world time, let's say from 9 p.m. to 11, you can opt in to play a purge-like scenario where everything becomes destructible. It all gets loaded up again. Nothing like but you can go in and you can break into people's homes. You can break windows, jump in, take their things. And it's just a way for everyone to kind of loot people and kind of play that way where it's like kind of like an apocalyptic mode that then wipes and then becomes clean. But you can keep what you loot. And I think that would enhance, and I think it would be fun because at that point, you can make it a mini tower defense thing where these mansions are now going to have guard dogs, turrets, metal plates that come up over the windows.
Oh, I like that. I like that idea. I don't like the idea of keeping what you loot because then if, let's say, it could be easily exploitable. Like if my friend was playing this game and he just got in, I'm like, all right, I'm going to put this $10 million statue here. Just take that first thing during this event. But what I think it could
and then you can take it back tomorrow and then everyone keeps taking things until they're rich. Yeah.
I think what it could be is it's like I don't know what they're called in other games, but Destiny calls them a public event. In GTA, it's like a flash event. I don't actually know what they're called in GTA, but it's an event. We can
call them what we want.
That can happen. And yeah, you could opt in or opt out. If you opt out, you're just in passive mode, so you can't be hurt or anything. But if you opt in, you could go fucking insane and do whatever you want. And then the amount of destruction you do, I think, can be converted to like XP or something. You know what I mean?
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. And not necessarily so you don't go out just destroying every single Lamborghini or something like that. So you just destroy the most expensive stuff. It's like the amount of destruction. So like instead of 5 cars, it's 5 cars, 5 Lamborghinis is equal amount. It doesn't matter.
And we can just call it Night of Anarchy.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just a random event that happens every 30 minutes, you know.
So we're gonna have a city obviously with apartments. We're gonna have a suburb. Now I want to add another part to it, which is going to be a rural area where there's farms.
Mm-hmm.
So that way someone can have a large plot of land, create farms, create orchards, and then that food system might go even bigger, where you can have like different fruit that you're creating or different livestock.
You want to put a farm sim in here?
Huh? A small one, very simple, but I would think it would be cool to have that kind of idea as well, where someone wants just more land, and then that way in that rural area, That's where you get different vehicles. You'll have like your ATVs, you'll have your trucks, you'll have like your SUVs that can perform better out there.
Yeah. And I could also see like ATV, motocross, and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
also becoming a thing. And then we could also put like contests up for motocross, and like even do like in GTA, what I wish that they would add are skateboards and stuff like that as well. They haven't done it. And then they have a fixie bike, but you can't go backwards. I'm like, just add the function to go backwards on your fixie bike, man. I wish they would add that. And just, this comes from my frustrations where GTA has become so sim-like, but there are things that are being held back because it was built on PS3. You know what I mean? Where like Red Dead 2 does solve a lot of this, where you could live Red Dead Online so like the way that you want to do it. You know what I mean? You have control of how your camp looks. You have control of how you look, how you dress, how your guns look, and all this stuff. Like, they've done it, but it's just not as crazy as what GTA would be like, because it's in the Wild West versus modern day. You know what I mean?
And that reminds me, I want all hair to be growing, not body hair.
Witcher.
But like, I want there to be hair on top of your head that grows, and then I want you to be able to. Pregnant pause there. I want you to be able to cut it, and when you're cutting it, you can choose the length, so it's unique, and that's where we're gonna get cool stuff. Where people can come up with undercuts, people can come up with different hairstyles, and have a robust customization there. Same thing with beards and facial hair, eyebrows, eyelashes. I want all that stuff to be in there, so your character truly feels unique.
Yeah, I like it. And then, of course, you could turn off the hair growing mechanic as well.
Yeah,
if you just want one hairstyle forever. And last thing I want to add before we move on, I could see like the bling of this game, the thing that kind of is shown, everyone has it, and you could get like dope customizations. Is, I think everyone has like a cool phone, and it's like a phone from this game's universe, and it just looks so like super cool, like things that you won't see. Like, you pick it up, and when you have it out and you're like texting, and that's like your menu system, like GTA does it, there's like angel wings, like neon wings coming out from the back, and like just like really flashy like phone cases and stuff like that.
I see.
Yeah. Music. What sounds are we hearing? Are we just having a radio station?
Tons of sounds. Yeah, all kinds of genres.
Everything.
Jazz, country, like everything that would appeal to everybody else, and including that, I'm saying that we can list out an open invitation for whatever indie bands want music on there. We'll have a weekly featured list where it's curated.
We'll even
of
have
the
podcasts.
Up and coming.
Just have fucking podcasts on there.
Well, yeah, podcast too, for sure. If you want to put your podcast in, just submit your RSS feed, and our team will moderate, see if it's good to put on, and we'll get you on there.
Pricing, free to play.
So what? Full pop. Oh, I guess free to play. Yeah, I guess if you're paying for everything, then this game's going to cost a lot of money. I think. Yeah, I even say free to play with some kind of buy-in feature. Like
welcome
battle
pass
pass,
type of thing.
Yeah, or something like that
And
gets you a bunch of basal features.
I don't think a battle pass might be right for this, but something along those lines where there's progression as you play more, you get more rewards. I don't know what else.
Or you get an increasing amount of money. Just that way, people who are like, yo, I don't have time because I have a job that's involved, but I'm really into this. So if there's a way that I can kind of get to the front of the line, can I do that?
Yeah. All right, Alex. Time to set your timer. It's time to name this game.
All right, and begin. I
was hoping you.
I see that you're looking to me. I thought you would have something loaded up for this.
Not my. That makes it sound like a bad anime. Um,
The City Foretold.
Another Life.
There we go. Another Life in 40 seconds. Another Life is a game where you play in a sim-like environment where everything is customizable from your facial hair to your head to the hair. I don't know why I'm having so hard. Your regular ass hair to where you live to your cars that you drive. You can do it all. It's a living, breathing world that ages with you. What will you do in your other life?
Cool.
It's a hard game to describe when it has almost everything.
Yeah, it's just a life sim, right? All right.
It is, but it isn't, because like we're purging in there.
Yeah. Well, you got to gamify it somehow, but everything else, you're just customizing your dream life, I guess.
And it's going to be like what you said, like it's going to be a great place for people to hang out in.
Yeah.
It's going to be like the big hangout.
And show off, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we have a complete game here. What do you think? Would this be a game you'd want to play, and is it fun?
It honestly wouldn't be my type of fanfare, but it would also be one of those games that like I wouldn't be able to escape. You know what I'm talking about? It'd be one of those games that you get drawn into because everyone's playing it and you're like, well, I just gotta see what the fuck this is.
Yeah. I think since it's free to play, I'll give it a little bit of a chance and see if I enjoy it. But you know, just like with Red Dead 2 when that was coming out, and just with like, I don't know, there's countless of games where I've told you where I'm like, man, I just wish they went even further into real life. And like Final Fantasy 15 even, like I've always liked games where it mimics real life as much as it can, even if it's a little bit boring. The only time it didn't work out for me was Death Stranding, but Final Fantasy 15 and Red Dead 2, they all did the right things where I'm like, I love this, but I just wish they went a little bit further and made it a little bit more realistic, even if other people are like, no, don't do that. That would make it so boring. Why would you want to have to actually go eat and then go pee and poop right after? I'm like, I want it. I want it in Red Dead, you know?
Your character has the shits. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I fed him too much.
But I would definitely give it a chance. But now that we have a complete game, what game studio would be able to make, or would you assign to be able to make Another Life the best?
Ah, man, that is tough.
I mean, I guess Rockstar, right?
Yeah, Rockstar would be able to do Another Life. Who else? Who else am I thinking?
EA, the specific dudes behind Sims, is it Maxim? That sounds right.
Blizzard has a lot to prove, and they need a big comeback.
That's true. That's true. This is.
You know who? Valve. Fucking Valve.
Mm-hmm. It's Maxis. I was close. Maxis. But yeah, Valve could do something interesting with this.
Right, because they're the ones that, like, if this is all integrated through Steam, are you kidding me?
On the other side, what I think would even be a better fit, Epic. Just make
another Goliaths, basically. What we're saying is this is a AAA or quadruple A game, right?
I think how Epic and Valve could both treat this is how remember on PS3 there was a thing called PlayStation Home or something like that.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of this game.
This could be the Steam or Epic's Epic Home or Steam Home. You know what I mean?
And with that, if we're doing that analog, Xbox Studios.
Just a new. It didn't work for PlayStation, but we're gonna give it a shot. We're calling it X Home.
And the reason being, the only reason I'm suggesting that is they work really well with brands and integration. And since they have Xbox Games Pass, I feel like they could pull in other games and make it work somehow.
Yeah, like in addition to all this stuff that's in this game, you could play your games in the game. Like you'll have like a smaller TV and you just play the game in that smaller TV and it works perfectly, like no lag or anything. That'd be hilarious.
Because Xbox at one point had something where you could be in a movie theater and you guys could share Netflix, where it would be your little avatar watching in a theater with others. So I'm thinking, why not?
Epic, instead of doing their concerts in the LAN or whatever, there's an actual like concert in this area, like in a
Did you mention
hall.
Concerts, plays with avatars in them, stand up?
Yeah, I see it. And with that, our 171st IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. You can write to appoundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We're still learning how to make the show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which you caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if you ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review Another Life, the video game we just created. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, my name is J.E.
And I'm AG.
Thank you, and please remember that we are not game devs. Dating in this game, how do you think that would work? Is it just you meet strangers
that's gonna be problematic
and you just start sleeping with everybody?
Oh my god, could you imagine getting invited into somebody's house and stuff?
Jesus. Maybe
like,
not.
What are you gonna do?
Maybe not. Maybe we won't. Maybe it's just emotes and that's as far as we go. No actual mechanics.